That's all you can do about that one. A complete laugher at Chase Center before the Warriors hit the road for 4 games. They lose by 30, and folks, it wasn't even that close as they stink it up tonight at home against the Mavericks. And look, the 6th seed looks a little far-fetched. Luka came out and dominated it. Mavericks bounced back from the loss last night as we welcome everybody to Warriors Post-Game Live presented by Toyota. Your therapist, Darrell Wright, and former NBA champ. Your other therapist here, Jennifer Azzi. And I'll try to be the psychiatrist tonight. Bonte Hill as the Warriors get rolled. And right off the top, man, we got to just talk about the beatdown in the first quarter. They go 8 minutes, the last 8 minutes and 40 seconds of the first quarter without even scoring.
Bonte got ugly early. And I thought the Dallas Mavericks set the tone early. They came out with the sense of urgency. They were the more aggressive team from the get-go. And they took Steph Curry out the game. And I thought that was a big part of their game plan. And they just looked like the team that, you know, had rest and had fresh legs. And they just got it done in the first quarter.
They did, Darrell. And, you know, what I was most impressed with their defense, even though they were throwing 2 and 3 at Steph, they still were cutting off drivers. They had great help side. They recovered well to open players. So not only were they guarding Steph well, I think they were guarding the entire team well in spite of having 2 on Steph.
29 points in the first half by the Golden State Warriors, the lowest scoring half of the season. And we're going to start it off right now with the wrong way. That's right. The wrong way was the entire first half, Darrell. Everything was wrong about it. 8 for 39 from the field. They had more turnovers than field goals made.
Man, it looked like those guys were in mud from the get-go. No shots could fall. Guys were looking for their shot. I think the ball movement wasn't there as well. It was just ugly, man. I don't know what to say, Bonte.
I don't know either. I think, you know, when you start to get down like that, then it becomes a little bit more one-on-one too, and you're less likely to go with what has gotten you where you are, and that's ball movement and player movement, working together, basket cuts. And, you know, they shot, what, 20% in the first half? So you got to put the ball in the basket.
Absolutely. And you see there they're tied for the 5th lowest scoring half in the shot clock era. Darrell, back in 2004, they had 24 points in the second half against Minnesota. That was in 2004 and 2006. In the same month of April, both these occurrences happened in April. Tonight, obviously, April 27th, they had 29 points against the Memphis Grizzlies. And you hear the spooky music here because the first half was scary. It was a nightmare. Nobody wants to watch this. 5 assists, 12 turnovers, and 3 threes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just unreal because we know Steph Curry can go off for 29 points and a half in the quarter. So to see this team only score 29 points in the first half.
Well, I think
that was the wrong way.
That was the wrong way.
But I also think now the weaknesses are catching up in the sense that with the players that are out, the injuries, the COVID protocols, you know, they needed those guys tonight.
Yes, they did.
All right, let's break down how the Dallas Mavericks did defend Steph Curry because he did hit 5 threes tonight as we checked this video out, but it looked like they did a good job of swarming Steph Curry.
Yeah, I thought they went back to that janky defense, and we've seen that right here. Trey Burke funneling Steph Curry to his left hand, showed him bodies, was able to turn him over. And Draymond, great hustle play, but yeah, they did a great job with sending him to his left hand.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. They set the tone with that from the get-go.
Yes.
And even when they were doubling, they had that third player ready to help if they needed to help. And they're all aware of Steph. Wherever he cuts, they're bumping him. They're not giving him anything.
Yeah, and that was a great bump right there because we know Steph Curry is most dangerous when he's running off screens and coming off down screens. So that was a great job with stopping his path. And right here, again, sending him to his left hand, showing them bodies, and just being scrappy. Trey Burke did a great job. He struggled tonight on the offensive end, but I thought he did a great job on defense.
He did, and these are big, strong guys coming after him, too. These are not small players, and so it's hard to see over them for Steph to even get out of it and make a pass.
Sure. And right here, another trap, and this is at half court. And that it's just impressive to see guys get double at half court, and there's only a small group of these guys. And right here, another one. They just send them to half court, far away from the basket, because we know anywhere in the building, Steph can get hot.
And it traveled there by Michael Mulder.
Yeah, then there's mistakes on, you know, on the other backside of that.
And the Warriors turned the ball over a lot in that first half, took ill-advised shots. And tonight it felt like they didn't know how to handle the double. So a lot of people were complaining out there in the Twitter streets and everything. The lack of practice time for the Golden State Warriors. Maybe do they need a shoot around? Do they need to practice to maybe sharpen up the tools? Because we know they're down guys. You have Steph Curry who's banged up with the ankle injuries and the tailbone. So is practice, the lack of practice or shoot around, what's going on here?
I think it's the guys that are out. I think it's hard to practice and can get better at to correct this stuff right now, I think they have to put this game behind them and hope the other guys get healthy.
And with so many protocols and, this crazy pandemic season, it's kind of hard to practice. You don't want to wear guys down. Guys are getting wore down. We're doing all the testing and, just all the new things that they have to go through. And also, it's the end of the season. You don't really practice around this time. So it was just one of those games. They didn't bring the energy. They didn't bring the effort. And they didn't have a sense of urgency. And that's why we've seen the Dallas Mavericks jump on them early in that first quarter.
11th time this season, the Warriors have lost by at least 20 points. And they gave up a 28-0 run. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's discuss Steph Curry's special April tonight. He still finished with 27 points and 5 threes made. He has 90 threes made this month to have a chance Thursday night against Minnesota, a team that doesn't play much defense, to maybe get 1-0-0, Jennifer. It's a tall ask, a tall order, but he can get it done.
I think he can get it done, and his teammates are going to want him to get it done because it's a milestone that has just never been done. I don't know that it will ever be done again, Darrell.
Never, ever, unless it's Steph Curry again.
Right, exactly.
Or Klay Thompson, so we can't put that past Klay once he gets back, but what a great accomplishment to do that, man.
Yep.
I couldn't even imagine trying to score or make 100 threes in a month. So pretty impressive. I think he could get 10 threes this next game, Bonte.
Yeah,
especially like you said, bad defensive team.
Well, then he did, tonight he played very limited, didn't play the fourth quarter, and still had 27 points. And, you think that Dallas stopped him, but he still had 27 points. So
it's sad, though. He scores 27 and they get blown out. What was your record 1 year, Darrell? 3-pointers. You led the NBA with a single season. Was it
194?
194. Dang, Curry almost, he almost got that.
He smacked that all over. He didn't even give me a full year, Bonte.
He didn't give me a full year, man. He can't even enjoy that, man. He erased that from the record books, man. But we still acknowledge that, Darrell, here on the set here. And let's talk about Luka Doncic. I mean, we broke him down in the pregame show. We talked about his size, his physicality, his jumper. Well, all he did tonight was score 39 points, dropped 8 assists, grabbed 6 rebounds, and was efficient along 4 threes. Luka did whatever he wanted tonight.
Special. This guy gets to his spots and does what he wants. He's similar to Steph Curry. Get to a spot, raise up over you, create enough space to get his 3-ball off, and he was just attacking. He was doing a little bit of everything tonight.
Yeah, with his size and strength and his smarts and the pace is actually to the other players' disadvantage. Even though it's slower, his timing is different than a lot of other players, and he's got that size and uses his body, and he can finish like crazy. I mean, it looks a lot like the scouting report we saw at the beginning of the game.
Right.
That is his game.
Two-way Wiggs had no answer for Luka tonight. You see some of those and ones there, getting into his body, fading away, hooking. Luka is a special, special player, and you see why he's one of the best here. Let's look at the wall here at the remaining 10 games, or the next 10 games here. And look, these are very winnable games starting Thursday in Minnesota. You have the 4-game road trip. Houston is basically melted in. You have the Pelicans who are up and down. You got to bring it, though, because Zion and Brandon Ingram are special talents. Then you have OKC for a back-to-back. Utah, Phoenix, New Orleans, and Memphis to end this season here. So the schedule looks good for the Golden State Warriors over the next 10, but with the way they've played this season and the clunker tonight, what can you really expect over the next 10 here, Jennifer?
I think it's hard to have consistency because of the ins and outs of the players. It makes it really tough. Right when they start to get into a rhythm, it feels like something happens, Darrell. So I don't even like to use winnable anymore because every time I do, it gets jinxed. But this schedule looks good towards the end.
Definitely, it's definitely in their favor. Those New Orleans games are going to be kind of tricky. Stan Van Gundy is always going to have his guys prepared, so you just don't know what team you're going to get. But I think the Warriors have been doing a great job with winning games they should win. So these are some winnable games, and hopefully they bring their A game and understand how important these games are to close out.
Minnesota beat the Rockets tonight. They've been winning games recently. Anthony Edwards is a special talent, the #1 overall draft pick. Karl Anthony Towns, D'Lo coming off the bench. So can the Warriors start looking ahead and start schedule and score